Are you with that?
Yes.
If we take the voter turnout of 14.40 and applies to the number of voters they are complaining about, that is 16,640, you get 2,390.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So, did you expect more voters out of the 14 polling stations?
My Lord, I object to that question. My Lord, my colleague is looking for a statement of opinion. What we are looking for in the examination are statements of fact. When you begin asking a client what they think, they should have got to a statement of opinion and object.
Let the witness answer because it follows from the earlier question. You can't proceed, Mr. Ballard.
I know that this is fact. She comes here, then say, yes. So we are applying the voter turnout of 14.4% to the number of votes you are complaining. Are we together?
Yes.
And you get 2,396. Now, even if I don't ask the other question, okay? Even if I don't ask the question, you add that to your number of votes you got. Add that to the number of votes you got, assuming you got all of them, they voted for you. What would you get? Add. You know the number of votes you got?
11, 4, 5,
You know the number of votes you got?
9058.
Yes. The
My
six.
Lord. 9058. Yes, my Lord.
Nine. Nine what?
9058.
Add.
Which is on page 30.
Then you add. You add what? 2,396, which is 14.4% voter turnout. What do you get?
11454. My Lord.
Would you have one there, however, not elected? With 11, 5, 4, 4, 5, 4. We're talking about 16,640. I will come in
My
with the other
Lord,
part of it.
those were the total number of votes that were not.
So, I just take you to what we are talking about. The voter turnout was 14.4%. And the votes you are complaining about were how many? 16,640.
40, my Lord.
If you apply the voter turnout, the 16,640, you get 2,390. Now we're doing a bit of math. If all those people voted for you, would you have won?
My complaint, my Lord.
The answer, would you have won?
No,
But what is the margin? What would be the margin?
to what he has asked. No, my Lord.
The first respondent would have won by how many? With the 11,454. say Elders, we have added gotten 11, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. We're saying what is the margin between 11, 4, 5, 4 and the votes. So even if those who had voted for only, which is possible. Those who vote, what would be the margin? Yes?
What would be the votes?
The difference between what Honorable Nalukoola, whom you are trying vote, against 11, 4, 5, 4.
I know the difference would be 6,400.
6?
6,400.
So you would still have lost to Honorable Nalukoola. Yes?
Yes, that's right.
Is there any other instance which would have raised the voter turnout more than 14.40? Did you have any magic that could raise the voter turnout in the 14 polling station vis-a-vis the 183?
My lord, I won with more than 10 polling stations, and yes, I should have expected that where I voted from and where Councillor Masuti Kazambola voted from, we would have done and support them.
Correct. By how many? We talked about figures. Tell us how many votes and we give them to you.
I can't answer that.
You say you voted and you know you won. Tell us by how many votes.
I can't answer that.
Others, the point is this. The voter turnout was 14.4%. Okay? For the 183 polling stations. What magic were you going to apply to create a voter turnout of 100% for the 14 polling stations? Did you have any? Do you have any?
My lord, my issue is that for the failure for the second respondent to return the results affected the turnout, given if some votes would have come to me or other votes would have come to me.
Very good. The word is affected. You know that word very well. You know that word? Affected. Adjective.
Yes, my lord.
How did the 14 polling stations, the results affect the result? That is why we are here.
Correct, my lord, that's why.
In numbers, the quality will come out. Numbers. Show us the numbers that would overturn. I can guide you. One, you can take all the 16,640 voters were coming, were going to vote for you. And give us the
My lord, I cannot say what.
Were they going to vote for you?
My lord, my issue is the total number of voters that were different types, and the votes were not standard.
Your issue is beyond that.
And the difference between me and the first responders.
What is the difference? The difference between you and Honorable Nalukoola.
It's 8,300, 3,500,
And
8,335.
so to show that the 14 affected the result, you have to show that out of the 16,640, 8,000 votes were going to be cast in your favor. Can we show that? With a voter turnout of 14.4.
My lord, I can tell court that the two polling areas, that's Mazambo and Bobo Primary School, is where I voted from and where Councillor Masuti, still from the NRA, voted from. Those were our strong points.
Okay. Strong as in voter turnout or strong as in support?
My lord, since those were areas we voted from, we had our support them.
Which police station is that?
I voted from Bobo Primary School.
Page. Bobo,
Bobo Primary School,
how many voters?
playground, we go to the Italy Street,
Yes, page. Page 24. Page 24.
20,
The page is
it's page 25, the table sheet. The total number of voters, my lord, was 143.
I'm saying my polling station. You ran how many? 14?
14.
3.
My lord.
Okay, and the other of Masood. The one of Masood.
My lord, I have
The one of Masood. He was the
I
first.
know that that is 027, but I do not how the particulars of this place.
You are sure?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. result line sheet.
That is the police station for Masud.
Masud, Kazangola, SP, at LC1 office.
That's right.
And it was total number of voters was 1,002.
1,002. And for those two, you are sure you had the biggest support. Yes? Yes?
Yes, my lord.
Now we are looking for how the 14 polling stations affected the results. So you want those votes also, without considering the voter turnout. Ajit, can you ask them? You get the effect. Yeah, you add on your votes for the two. I know you have already had it, but it is okay.
My lord, I get 11,498.
11. You are what? You add them to you.
I get 11,498, my lord.
You already had 11,454. So we're giving her everything.
Mr. Mowat, clarify the question. Which number do you want her to add to?
I wanted her to add to the 11,454 because the higher votes have already been subjected to. I know there will be a double count, but let her add. We are trying to see. So 11,455. That is now all the other polling stations have been subjected to the 20. Now you can even add these two. Would you win?
My lord, I get 13894.
13894.
But those are only 2 polling stations out of the 14, my lord.
It's because you said those are the 2, you're very sure you would win, and we have even not factored in people dying, no sick people, would you have won with the 11, with 13,894?
No, my lord.
So we want to know how these 14 polling stations affected, you may have. Do you understand the word affected?
My lord, on page...
First answer is, do you understand the word affected?
Yes, my lord. But on
the
page,
results
but on page 2
of
of the petition, I want to read
page 2. Yes. Page 2.
paragraph 7,
Yes.
that I contend that there was non-compliance with the provisions laid down in the Act, the Parliamentary Elections Act, relating to elections.
Yes.
The failure to return votes from 14 polling stations, my lord.
Page 2 of the petition or paragraph.
Of the petition, my lord.
Paragraph 7. That.
Yes, my lord.
So you read up to it. Did you put that one affect? Non-compliance with the provision. Affected the result of the election. That's why I'm asking, did you understand what affect?
Yes, my lord.
What does it? In the context of your results.
My lord, in the petition, in my petition, page 2, I contend that there was non-compliance with the provisions laid down in the Parliamentary Elections Act relating to the elections, and non-compliance and failure to hold the elections in accordance with those provisions affected the results of the election. Yes, my lord.
And that is where we are. For me, I'm starting from the word affected. The other bit, someone else is going to answer. Okay, let us first, what were the results? Between you and the first respondent, let us assume we are the only two players. What were the results?
My lord, we were not the only two players.
Pardon?
We were not only two
You
players,
can bring the rest.
but the first respondent was the winner and I came second.
With
But
what?
we were not the
Okay.
only two players.
Okay. What the winner got?
In the tally sheet,
When you look at paragraph 5, don't go very far. Yeah.
in the return form for transmission of results, the winner got A1. The winner gets 17,939 votes.
And yourself?
I get 9058 votes.
You got 9, 0.
58 votes, my lord.
So those were the results. Correct?
Yes, my lord.
So we are how apply the word affect in the context of those two figures. To guide you, you must show that because of the 14 polling stations, I would have got 17,940 because honorable vote 1939. So I would have tilted. So we want to show us how you are going to bridge this match between you and if we have given, if you cannot, I think you concede and we close the case.
No, my lord.
You didn't show us.
I've already stated in the petition
that the petition is okay. You are here to give evidence. Now proof. We need evidence. Proof to the court that you would have bridged the margin between you and Nalukoola. If you cannot...
I have stated, my lord, that Honorable Nalukoola got 17,939 and I got 9,058. And the votes that were not returned were 16,640, my lord. And that the non-compliance in the Parliamentary Elections Act is what affected the result in a substantial manner, my lord.
What do you
Yes, my
understand
lord.
by the word return? What do you understand by the word return?
The votes, my lord, were not tallied.
Okay. Can you return what is not tallied? Those are your words.
No, my lord.
So were the 16,640 votes tallied? Were they tallied?
They were not tallied, my lord, and that's why we came to the court.
Were they counted?
My lord, I can't answer that.
You have already answered it in the affidavit, that there was counting. Can I show you the affidavit? That they counted, but there was no tally. We go back to the word return. Can you return what has not been counted or tallied? Although in this case, counting was done.
No, my lord.
So how do you bridge this gap?
The chair is broken. Apparently, she needs to change seat.
The chair is broken.
Yes, your questions.
Which question?
Your questions are now damaging court
The
files.
questions are broken.
Thank you.
So I get Faridah, why we are here and asking this question to show how the 14 point affected the results between you. And you can only do that by showing how you can bridge. What magic was going to bridge this gap between 9,000 and 17,000. We have given you some formula, voter turnout. You have gotten all the votes at your polling station, and Councillor Masudi, something like that.
My lord, the total of 16,640 minus the votes the first respondent got is 8,335.
Correct.
So That is how the failure to return these votes in totality, that's how it affected the results, my lord.
How would that show us the build-up? You're still looking for the answer?
My lord, I've answered that the failure to return 16640 votes in their totality affected me because
the results.
it affected me,
The results.
okay, definitely me as a candidate, and that's why I'm here, because of the margin of difference. If some results could have come through in places where I voted from and Councillor Masoti, the result would have been changed, my lord.
Okay. What was your percentage of the total vote? Percentage. Say. Maybe use the television. The television. The last part, page 30. You move faster. Move faster. You've seen it? The last, it's a row column. You see district total, is it 905%?
32%, my lord.
32%. And Honorable Nalukoola got what percentage?
63.5, my lord.
And the rest shared. Can we apply that on the 1640? And we add it respectively. You can even share. Say 50-50.
I can't answer that, my lord.
We use the scenario of 30%. What would you get?
answer that, my lord, because
06. Now we apply 16.
I get 5,000. Nine 058.
14 what?
14382, my lord.
Would you have one? Before we add Nalukoola, the 63%, would you have one?
No, my lord.
Yes.
I get 10,483, my lord.
10,000.
483, my lord.
$10,000.
63. Of 16.
Uh-huh.
10,566.
10,566.
Lord.
Then you add what the first respondent got? 17,939.
28,505, my lord.
285.
505.
Then subtract 2850 from your 14. Now to see the margin. In other words, what Nalukoola got after and yourself the margin. What is the difference?
Between
What is the 14,382 and 28,505. That is after applying the percentage of the growth.
it's 14,123.
Would you have one? With those margins?
No, my lord, in this particular one.
So, Hajjat Faridah, we are looking, can you give to us that evidence which would bridge the margin between you and the formula? Which formula were you going to use?
Basically, in the petition,
Pardon?
in the petition, I state that the votes that were left out, my lord, and the difference between me and the first respondent is why we are here, my lord.
Yes, I know. But okay, maybe I will ask this, but I have us over us. Can you prove that the 16,640 voters who were not tallied, as you are saying, were all going to vote for you? That is why we are here. We are not here because of the margins as the group. Sure, that those people are going to vote for Faridah Nambi from the 14 polling stations, having lost in all others.
My lord, that's not true. I won in more than 10 polling stations.
Out of 180. And then you also want to win in this 14. Sure.
My lord, I would have gotten votes from those polling stations.
I'm okay with you winning the 10. Show us how you're going to win the 14. And how your win in the 14 was going to overturn the first respondents. I think that is the simplest I can put it. How your win in the 14 was going to overturn the result. That is the word affect.
My lord, in the petition, page 2, the difference between the total number of votes that were not tallied was 16,640, and the difference between me as the second, as per the tally sheet and the results form, is only 8,000.
Maybe we switch. Nalukoola gets 30, you get 63 and add. Of this 60, because that was your strong point. Okay? So we switch. Nalukoola gets 30, you get 63, add up, and we see what we get. Can we use that formula budget? Can we?
I've already stated the point of contestation in the difference and the votes that were not tallied, my lord.
Yes, we have understood the point of contestation. We're also asking the magic that would turn the 16 in your favor as against them. We are now trying to give you the 63 and now we're against the 30, the 32. I know mathematics is disturbing us. We may have to do that. Can we do that? Nalukoola is not popular where you are voting from. In the 14, you are that popular with 63%. Take it.
My lord, I've already pointed out that 16,640 votes to this honorable court were not returned, and therefore me could be other candidates' results were not concluded well.
We go to your paragraph 12.
Paragraph?
Temporarily
Paragraph?
suspended questioning John that. Let us go to 12. Paragraph 12 and 13. Yes, paragraph 12 and 13.
Is this the one? 12 or 13? This one and this one. This one and this one. Oh, no, we don't consider this one?
No, it's not paragraphs.
Okay.
12 and 13. You are complaining about declaring the final result
Yes, my lord.
because there was no tally. Correct?
Yes, my lord.
What was counted? Because to tally, you must have counted. What was counted? What did your polling agents bring to you? That you went, counted, you got 100% for these votes, and they were not tallied. Did you have polling agents?
Yes, my lord, I had polling agents.
And they were at the polling stations.
Yes, my lord.
They were participated in counting. Yes or no? Yes or no?
At the 14 polling stations?
Did they count? Did they participate in counting the votes?
Are you referring the question to the 14 polling stations? Okay.
Yes.
At the 14 polling stations, my lord, we did not get the results of those polling stations.
But did people vote?
Yes, my lord.
Did
People
your
voted
agents count?
because I was one of the voters in some
So
of
you're
the
one of them.
polling
And you had
stations.
agents. And the procedure of voting. Do you know how they do what the polling agents are supposed to do? Yes?
Yes, my lord.
I will give you one step, then you take me to the next one. They match the name of the person of the vote against the voter register or roll. Correct? The voter comes, then
Yes,
there
ma'am.
is the voter roll or the voter register. They look at the face, they say, this is Hajjat Faridah, yes. One, you have appeared. They tick. So each one marks. Is that correct? Or you don't know?
I know, my lord.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct that you're
Then-
verified.
Subsequently, as so many people come, you go on noting. At the end of the day, you can tell that there were 500 people who turned up. Is that correct?
Yes, my lord.
So where are those results? Where is that counting from your agents?
My lord, some of those agents will appear before this court to give their...
Correct. They will appear, but I'm asking, didn't you ask for the counting? See, if I deployed you to go and count, how many people voted at each polling station? Before you complain about zero, you must have known that there are these numbers came. We know at your polling station you are one. You can say, okay, they will not include me.
My
That is
lord,
one.
no results were brought back to me
You
as
did
the
not-
candidate from the agents, my lord.
Could it be there was no voting?
My lord, as a candidate, I was one of the voters at Mbogo Playground Primary School. So I voted and I was there with other voters doing the same, my lord.
So if you voted alone, out of so many people, the return would be zero. Do you know that? If you voted alone at that particular polling station, the percentage would indicate 0%. Correct?
My lord, I cannot answer to how many people
No, you use the
could
math.
have voted.
Use the math. You voted one person out of a polling station with 1438.
38.
The figure will show 0%. Would they increase? You do the math. 1 out of 1436 would return 0%.
My lord, to that, I couldn't have been the only voter because I was physically there to vote and I saw some other voters, including my husband.
We have already added all her polling stations. They voted without dying. Okay, let us go to the next. We said 12 and 13. Show us how the 14 affected the results. Now, in a substantial manner. Affected the results. You remember the results have already been shown. There is a margin. And in a substantial manner, Did you also believe that the results
Yes, my Lord,
in
I
a
believe.
substantial manner?
Yes, my Lord, that's the end of the paragraph on page 013.
You have failed to show how the results were affected. Yes or no?
My Lord, I've stated in my petition how the results were affected in totality.
My Lord, I think I will stop there.
Oh, okay.
And my friend will take over.
Okay. So you focus on the good area.
Yes.
Don't repeat what happened.
My Lord, my Lord, I'll be well guided.
You are in
Samuel,
You mentioned your name for
Samuel Mwezi Mulindo.
You proceed.
Yes, Hajat. Yeah. Hajat who? Your name again? For the record. Hajat.
Nambi, Faridah.
It's your statement pertaining to the results that the agents will appear. The agents did not give you results, and that they will appear to answer to that. Is that your statement as the reason for you not answering some of these issues?
My Lord, clearly in the
Confirm it was your statement.
in the 14 polling stations, I've stated in the petition that we got 0 results.
No, my senior colleague, in attempting to take us to the county, it was a statement that the agents in those 14 polling stations will appear because they did not give you results. And that's why you're not responding. You stand by that? That's the reason.
In the petition, my Lord, the failure to return.
Did you understand? My question. I picked it from your line.
Yes, yes,
You
please.
stated, you were talking about the number of votes having been counted, where you appeared and your husband. It was your statement that you will not respond to that because the agents, according to you, will appear. They did not give you the results, but they will appear on this issue.
I did not get the results from those polling stations, if that's what you're asking.
Those results were from your agents. That's the case? With your agents.
There are no results from the 14 polling stations.
So, is it your case that your agents did not participate in any counting at the 14 polling stations? It's your evidence they did not count. Is that the case?
No, my Lord, but they did not come back to me with results from those polling stations.
They did not.
Yes, yes.
In paragraph 10 of your evidence, the said agents chose to report about everything
page?
that happened.
Which page?
Paragraph 10 of your affidavit.
Which page is that?
Page 13. Those agents in paragraph 10 chose to give you a thorough report about what transpired on incidents you allege of chaos, violence, and the like, but not about the voting and the counting. Is that your evidence?
The paragraph says, I am informed by the above persons
Yes.
that the information I verily believe to be true and correct, that despite incidences of chaos, my lord, and violence, especially at Hazangola polling center, the voting itself,
Yes.
at the said polling stations took place
Between 7 and 4
within the
p.m.
regular voting time
Between 7, read.
of 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. and many voters voted at the election at that.
So you confirm that voters from your agents, voters voted.
Yes, my lord.
And that votes were counted.
No, my lord.
What time is the counting of votes?
Supposed to be normally at 5 p.m.
Because they are giving you a record, it means they recorded that voting took place. That record is clear. Voting took place between 7 and closing time of 4 p.m. But then omit or neglect to tell you that there was counting. Okay? You want us to believe that detail. Let's go back to the incidents of chaos and violence. Did they tell you at which polling stations, one by one? Because you have the time between 7 and 4, I don't know at what time. At least that record. The counting is not here. What time was the chaos and the violence? Paragraph 10. Did they give you that report? Is it one of the information?
My lord, the agents at the 14 polling stations stated that, yes, indeed, there was violence and chaos at those polling stations, and that's the reason why they did not have the results.
In that report, what time did they specify? Okay, did they specify the time? Was it towards 4? Because then the voting went on until 4. Was it at 9 a.m.?
No, my lord.
What time then? Did they tell you or they did not?
They mentioned that the
Time.
violence
Okay,
started in the afternoon, late afternoon, something like that.
Kalemba Herbert at Imbogo Primary School, playground. Did Kalemba
They stated. They never stated. My lord,
that is
1187. the affidavit for Mr. Herbert Kalemba. Yes, my lord.
Yes. What time? That's Kalemba Herbert.
Paragraph
What time the chaos and violence? Is it there or it is not?
we
It is not there.
You are asking the witness about some maybe I have to speak to
Yes, my lord. My lord, I'm not playing. Because it is not here. That's the emphasis. So I put to you that you do not know the time. You are not aware. Is it within your knowledge? Yes or no?
No, my lord, but there are statements within Mr. Kalemba Herbert.
No, your knowledge.
No specific time, my
No
lord.
specific time. Between 7 and 4 p.m. Then would I be right if I ignore that? Budget. Faridah Nambi, let's leave that agent. It's not there. It's there. You also don't know the number of voters who turned up at that polling station. Do you?
No, my lord.
So would I be right to state that you don't want the truth in the numbers of voters?
No, my lord.
Everything they reported but the numbers. Okay. Everything.
My lord, maybe I just wanted to direct the witness. The witness is such that
It helps us move faster. I'm okay with it, my lord.
not the kind of direction he's thinking about. I just Faridah, when the lawyer is asking a question, please look at him, listen to the question. So I'm getting the feeling that you're looking at the different issue and you want to listen to the question. Please listen.
That's true, my lord. You can go back to your affidavit. That's why I said you can abandon. Go back to paragraph 2. So generally, would I be right to state that your agents gave you information or reported about the counting? But that you don't want to tell us the truth in the numbers of voters? It's the reason that you are not telling us about the counting. Would I be right or wrong?
No, my lord, that's not correct.
Well, probably I take you back to, let's say, agents. You refer to agents. Let's go to paragraph 9. Let's try to be more general. My lord, paragraph 9 is more general, so that I don't go one by one. It is your statement that you had the following polling agents at the said 14 polling stations. who is an agent? Or polling agent for this purpose? Who is an agent according to you?
An agent, my lord, is the representative of either candidate, a polling
An
agent at the
is
station.
a representative of each candidate
At a given polling
at
station.
a given polling station. Would I be right to state that you now would be the principal and the following 14 would be the agents? Simplified. You, Nambi,
Would be
the
the
principal, and they are your agents, you as Nambi.
yes, I was the candidate and they were those were my
So they
agents,
were
my lord.
Nambi's agents. So it's your statement that you appointed agents in the 14 polling stations. Is that correct?
My lord, I appointed agents as per
I appointed.
the appointment letters attached
Well,
to
that's page 31 to 44. And 31. My lord, 31, 44. So are these the appointment letters appointing your agents, you now? 31, 031.
031.
Going here because the petition is about you and the agents.
Which page are you referring to?
31,
31?
yes. She took us to
Of the
31,
petition?
44. Yeah, your evidence, your affidavit. General, page 31.
Councillor Assist, you are...
You took us there.
31, page 31.
Well, she took us to the agents. So are those the appointment letters by you appointing your agents?
My lord, these are the agents that were appointed.
Were they appointed by you?
They were appointed by,
Were they appointed by you?
no, my lord, but by the National Resistance Movement Electoral Commission.
Oh.
Yes.
Are you the NRM?
According to,
Are you the NRM?
this was a procedure within the NRM for by-elections.
Well, for clarity, please read just one. This appointment letter. Because these are the people relying on.
National Resistance Movement 031 C1. National Resistance Movement Electoral Commission is the headed paper.
Appointment as NRM official polling agent.
Appointment Herbert Kalemba. NRM official candidate Nambi Faridah Chigongo, candidate for Kawempe North. Appointment as NRM official polling agents in Kawempe Division North constituency by election 2025.
Yes, in accordance with the law.
In accordance with the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995 as amended, the Electoral Commissions Act, the Parliamentary Elections Act, and the NRM Constitution, you are hereby appointed as NRM polling agent in the parliamentary by-election of 13th March 2025 at Bogo Primary School, Playground A-KAS, polling station in Kawempe 1, Ward, Kawempe Division, North Constituency. You are authorized to present at the polling station and perform such duties of a polling agent as prescribed by the law. In carrying out this assignment, you are enjoined to observe the NRM Constitution and the laws of the Republic of Uganda. Thank you for accepting to be part of the NRM team, signed by the chairperson, NRM Electoral Commission.
So you confirm you are not signed by you, Nambi?
My Lord, this is according to...
Their letters, please. They are not appointed by you. Okay.
Yes, they were not appointed
letters
by
were not
me.
signed by
They
you.
were not signed by me, but by the NRM Electoral Commission, my Lord, as per the NRM
So
rules on the by-election.
confirm that they were appointed as NRM polling agents, as stated in that letter.
On my behalf, as the NRM official candidate.
Confirm that they were appointed as NRM polling agents. Well, were you issued, probably, to assist you, were you issued with guidelines in this election by the second respondent? Probably you're not aware. Were you issued with the guidelines?
Yes, we were issued with guidelines, my Lord.
Did this form conform to those guidelines? Confirm that they did not, this did not conform to the guidelines. And that paragraph 9, that you had the following agents at the same 14 polling stations is false. You, as Nambi.
My Lord, I had these agents appointed by my party, which is the internal rules procedure for by-elections.
According to the guidelines, was it you to appoint Kalemba Herbert? According to the guidelines that you have.
My Lord, my colleague is requiring guidelines that he's not pointing out. I would be grateful if you point the witness to any particular guidelines.
My Lord, that's why you come back. She answered that she has the guidelines. My Lord, my colleague will come.
The guidelines, my Lord, I was referring to, that I was pointed at, were for the NRM.
So the Electoral Commission did not issue any guidelines to you? Or you're not aware? Probably we shall assist you.
Those were for electoral commissions, but in this particular response, my Lord, I was referring to
So you followed?
the appointments.
In appointing these agents, you followed the NRM guidelines, but not the EC guidelines. Is that a position? Say yes or no. What did you follow?
We followed all the guidelines, my Lord.
Did you follow the EC guidelines in appointing Kalemba Herbert, Namatovu Sarah, Nensima, Marisha, Gordon Salim Saleh, Sebugwao Doi, Nalumans Jessica, Wagala Olivia, Kova Victor, Wamanya Silva, Ruby Sarah Sanyu, Zainab Farida, Namulinda Grace, and Chikam Eli? Which guidelines did you follow? Of course, these are the people we are relying on in this petition.
Yes, my
You are
Lord,
relying on.
these according to the NRM Constitution, my Lord, these polling agents were appointed on my behalf by virtue of this appointment letter, my Lord.
Did you participate in NRM elections prior to this election?
Yes,
NRM
my
elections.
lord.
Yes, yes, Your Honor. My lord. My lord, were these NRM elections for you to be guided by the NRM guidelines? Were they NRM elections?
My lord, according to NRM, this is
Confirm
the
that they were national
procedure.
elections.
This was the procedure that we used in this by-election
And
and
confirm-
the other by-elections.
Confirm we are talking about a general election, not an NRM election. Just confirm. No answer? Well, to rest this point, would I be right to say that you, Nambi, never appointed any agents to rest this case? You, Nambi.
I participated fully in this process together with the NRM party since I was their official candidate, my lord.
You show us where you signed appointing. That participation is what I'm looking for. Because you're seeing information from my agents. Show us where you signed as participation in this process. Is it there?
My
C1,
lord, I think all these agents, if brought forward, they would confirm that I was part of the process in briefing, in training, and in the final day of the elections. And this is part and parcel with the NRM constitution.
I put to you that there is no signature of the Nambi, the candidate appointing agents. Well, my lord, I wish to ask the witness if she's aware, because we may not have the benefit. Are you aware that some of the people who made those statements, appointed agents, will not be presented in court for cross-examination? Are you aware? That's why I want you to answer some of these questions. Are you aware?
Yes, I'm aware according to the ruling of yesterday.
That they will not be cross-examined about these statements.
Yes, I'm aware, my
Can
lord.
you also confirm? We go back to paragraph 10. Enumerating the incidents at all these polling stations of chaos, violence, etc. Can you confirm that you are not there at each of these 14 polling stations?
Yes, my lord.
Can you confirm, therefore, that you did not see any such chaos? I'm trying to rush through. Just confirm that we don't vote it.
Yes, my lord.
And as you stated, you confirmed that your role was, I only voted and went back home. I voted and went back home with your husband. That was your. You voted, went back home with your husband.
I don't see that anywhere in the
No. She said that she went to, my lord, she went voting with her husband. Well, just tell us precisely, raise that issue of the agents, just the roles, their roles that you know. the roles of agents.
My Lord,
At a polling station.
the agent, as I stated, should represent the candidate for that given party at a polling station or an independent candidate. And the roles are to observe that the voters are verified, then to observe that the election is carried out according to the Elections Act, to observe, to write the number of votes that are being tallied,
Right number of votes tallied,
that are tallied after, that are counted and tallied at a
counted and tallied.
at the polling station, and then to return the DR form.
Turn the other form. Is that all that you know? That's all you know?
Yes, my Lord.
Okay. It is your statement that one of their roles is to verify voters at these polling stations. And was such one of the assignments by the NRM. Is it within your knowledge?
It's within my knowledge that the polling agents received confirmation from the EC officials at the polling stations that the verification of each voter took place,
Oh,
my Lord.
so verification of each voter took place. Can you tell us how many were verified? I'm going there because I may not have some of these people. How many were verified at each of these?
I cannot answer that, my Lord.
So did the agents carry out the assignment of the party? Well, I know why you have a problem. Do you know for a fact that the guidelines I was referring to, polling agents shall be appointed by a candidate? Because you had both guidelines. This is rooted out of the law. Not more than 2 representatives, all polling agents shall be appointed by a candidate. And the appointment shall be in writing, addressed to the presiding officer of the polling station. That is the letter I'm looking for, so that I qualify statements to you. Where is that letter under paragraph 9? That confirms your paragraph 9. That the following polling agents. Or is maybe you are Tango Doi?
No, my Lord, I'm not
So 9.
our chairman,
Paragraph
NRMEC.
9. Can you confirm that this is a false statement? 9. That is what you cannot rely. Paragraph 9. In view of the guidelines. Because I don't want us to go, because was Tango Doi a candidate in this election?
No, my Lord. But
So,
he's our
But you know
chairperson.
the fact that you are supposed to verify voters. Let's then know how many were verified at each of these polling stations, the 14. You don't know.
No, my Lord, I do not know.
So again, as stated by you, that you are supposed to write the number of votes counted and tallied. the polling station. This they did not do. Is it your statement?
My Lord, in my petition and in many of
They
the
did not write
affidavits
the number of votes
of
counted
the
at the time.
polling agents, they mention why that was so from the 14 polling
Okay,
stations.
so you want us to state that the roles of your purported agents of verifying voters, writing the number of votes counted and tallied, and returning BRF forms were not performed, but they went on to flourish into reporting only chaos, violence. Do you want us to believe you this statement?
Yes, my Lord.
And that despite that confirmation, you stand by your statement that voting went on from 7 to 4 as provided for by the law. Confirm. The only missing element.
According to the affidavits, my Lord, yes.
Now that according to affidavits, again, probably this is your evidence, not these other people. We went to numbers where there was a presupposition that probably all people would turn up. You confirm, you do not know how many did. That's the confirmation statement.
Yes, my Lord.
So if you did not, if you don't know the number, is it then attributable? Would it be attributable to your averment in paragraph 11? Because that's what you want to state. Are you attributing this to, again, the allegation that electoral materials and documents were destroyed? Is that the source of your information? I'm trying to make sense out of this budget now. No
My Lord.
agents, you not talk about this, but then you talk about it. Are you attributing it to your statement that electoral materials and documents were destroyed? That's
My
paragraph
Lord,
11.
paragraph 11, page 7.
The 13 of your affidavit, 013, the petition. Go to your affidavit. Please, let's restrict ourselves to, I'm only in 2 paragraphs, 9, 10, 11.
I will state it, my Lord, the paragraph. I say that I'm further informed by the aforementioned persons, which information I verily believe to be true and correct, that during the counting of the votes at the said polling stations, there was violence and chaos and commotion, as a result of which there was no results declared and transmitted for those polling stations. And second, the electoral materials and documents were destroyed, my Lord.
So you confirm that there was counting. In paragraph 11, it's your statement, there was counting. You state this, you are reading it, there was counting, according to paragraph 11.
Yes, my Lord.
Confirm. And that during counting, ordinarily agents write, what's this counting? Ordinarily,
My
you
Lord,
confirm.
In an ordinary circumstances,
Yes.
yes, my lord.
Did-
But this was not ordinary.
Between 7 to 4. Okay, counting people who have turned up to vote. 7 to 4. Ordinarily. Would they write this turned up? Because you say you don't know the number of those who turned up. At least, what is that that they gave you from the roles as stated by you? It's
My
not-
lord, in the 14 polling stations, we did not receive the results as mentioned.
So, are you running away from paragraph 11, aforementioned person, that there was counting of votes at the said polling stations? Are you retracting this evidence? So that we know which you're retracting and
No,
which
my
you're
lord,
not.
I'm not
So you stand by that there was counting? Okay? Yes, going back to you attributing these issues to the materials destroyed, as you've stated in paragraph 11. Can you state what you, Nambi, know the electoral materials and documents referred to? You just named those that were destroyed.
According to the agents reporting to me, my lord, I was informed that the ballots,
Ballots,
the containers that carry the ballots,
ballot
and then
boxes.
also the biometric machines were some of the documents, the items that were destroyed on that day, and others were the desks.
Did you have such evidence in your petition on the ballots that were destroyed in the evidence? Do you have any? Yes or no? Ballots, at these ballots. Well, I'll take you back.
Yes, my lord, and
Yeah,
they are
ballots.
electro materials. The
So
ballots are
ballots.
still electro materials.
So ballots were one of those.
And the documents.
Do you know that one of the, ordinarily, what happens at the polling station, the ballot books and number of ballots, before you even commence, are the primary issues determining that there are two booklets, this number of ballots at a given polling station. Did you at least receive that information between 7 and 4? How
My
many
lord,
ballots?
according to the affidavits of the agents, they confirm that at the start of the elections, there was compliance.
So, compliance at the start, how many ballots did Kalemba tell you? At least those which were destroyed because they are disclosed. Kalemba Herbert at Mbogo Primary School, you have such evidence. So that we ascertain. Given number of ballots were dropped and were destroyed. Do you have this in evidence?
I just got information about the polling stations where the chaos destroyed
You
this
do not have
electoral
the evidence
materials,
about
my
the
lord.
number of ballot papers.
No, my lord.
So I'm getting it that apart from the chaos, violence, even when it was smooth as stated, the agents did not report anything about the voting exercise.
No, my lord.
Despite the calm at the start. Okay, do you have evidence then on the containers, those are ballot boxes, in your petition? I need the evidence. How are they destroyed? Were they burnt down? Do you have any such evidence on the said containers, ballot boxes, in your petition? Doesn't matter whether it's hearsay.
No, my lord, but it's encompassed in the electoral materials and documents that were destroyed, my lord.
So you leave it to us to imagine. Is that your case? Is it in this petition? How many, the number, and how?
No, my lord.
It's not. BVVK. What is the BVVK? You mentioned BVVK, something. You educate me. You mentioned it as one of the, because I am imagining how BVVK was destroyed. And the information, most important. Tell us, do you know the BVVK machine?
The biometric machine, my lord, yes, I know it.
Just tell us about the BVVK. Tell us the purpose of a BVVK that you know.
It's to verify the voter, my lord.
So, is it true that you go to a polling station, it gets your forensics, that confirms that you're a registered voter at a polling station? Because you know it. Yes?
Yes, please.
Is it your statement? Because voting, you come, it verifies you. That is all I want. You're a registered voter. And it stores that information.
Yes, 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 my lord.
So is it true that using a BVVK, even if your agents have negated to tell you, can you use a BVVK to ascertain the number of voters who turned up at the polling station? Okay.
I can't.
You can? You can't. You went wrong on that.
My lord, if every voter has used the biometric machine, it will be able to show the total number, my lord.
And you'll be capable of using it to ascertain the number of people at least who turned up.
Yes, my lord.
Did you request for such information from the Electoral Commission? Assist. Did you or did not?
No, my lord.
To your belief, would it have been essential? You are proving, would it have been an essential element? 12%, no. It's not 100%. Like my senior colleague was giving you, generously. Would it be essential?
My lord, I would request the second respondent to
Would it be essential?
help us with the answer of that.
Would it be an essential element for this purpose?
Yes, my lord, it's essential.
So to conclude on this, between the BVVK and information from your lawyers, I've seen it in paragraph 13 and paragraph 14. Where you say, I am informed by my lawyers, in associated advocates, with information I very believe to be true. That there was non-compliance with the provisions laid down in the Parliamentary Elections Act relating to elections, and that the non-compliance and failure to hold elections in accordance with those provisions affected the result. I am further informed by my lawyers, which information I very believe to be true and correct, that the poor stated failure and non-compliance disenfranchised the voters at the impugned polling stations, including myself, a voter at Ngogo Primary School playground, disenfranchised. Who would you choose as Nambi between the BVVK and your lawyers? Who would you choose to have better information on this non-compliance and disenfranchisement between the BVVK and your lawyers? Where would we get?
My Lord, if I had the biometric machines, would be them, but in this instance, they were not there.
What, did you ever request for them? Probably. You said no. Would you then rely on the hearsay evidence from your lawyers if the BVVK were available? Would you then? Well, if you can't
beg your
answer
pardon?
that, well, let me paraphrase it. Would I then be right to say that you ignored the BVVK for fear of the truth again in the numbers?
My Lord, they were not availed to me.
Well, it is not very hard to ascertain why you do not know. It's because you are relying on information from people even where you confirmed you are not there, you confirmed even the information on these materials from your lawyers. My Lord, I'm looking at information from paragraph 10, 11. I'm informed the Limbon agents is in 11, at 10, 11. We have 13, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, and so on. My Lord, the witness has admitted that all this evidence is hearsay. I heard from my lawyers, from my agents. I confirm some of them will not come to this court. My Lord, it's my submission on this issue that a party, my Lord, can rely. Actually, I can raise an objection at this stage, my Lord, like I'm doing during trial. And it's my prayer, actually, that all this evidence, paragraphs 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 16, 19, and so on, my Lord, all based on hearsay evidence. The same, my Lord, I submit is inadmissible. It cannot be considered during trial going forward. Because we are not making headway. Witnesses, may not be considered, and I pray that it will be expunged. From record for being hearsay.
The numbers again. What was that number?
Note 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, all 16, 18, 19, all 19, 20, 20, largely that, my Lord. My Lord, the elementary style under section 59 of the Evidence Act,
Let's make your prayer.
I pray that all these abatements be expanded off the record for being hearsay evidence. My Lord, I submit that evidence, admissible evidence, must be of that witness who says he or she saw the given issue and was there, or heard. My Lord, specifically, we have several decided cases, one of them being retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besigye versus Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. This area was canvassed, and the ratio was that such evidence would be expanded. My Lord, my colleague will submit on that authority going forward. My Lord, the starting point would be, my Lord, bring me back in that. Bring me back in that record. My Lord, the starting point would be order 19. Rule 3, 2, which is Rule 3, 1 and 2, the effect that affidavit evidence must only be restricted to information by the deponent. The courts have canvassed this area, and it is a settled area. One of the cases I'm going to provide, but the actual authorities will be furnished with court my lord later for your permission. My lord, we had, with your guidance.
You have made your prayer and I will consider it the general evaluation of the evidence. I will consider it as I evaluate the general context.
My lord, I understand.
But I have captured your prayer.
But our understanding, my lord, has been that now then how do we continue cross-examining with evidence that we have premeditated? Maybe then that means that our objection has been sustained, that they have been expelled.
I have said,
because if you
I have
go
said,
forward,
I have said that I will consider it doing the general evaluation of the evidence. That's what I said. I didn't say I will take the word. So to be considered that, but you can continue the cross-examination.
yes, and not because on this issue, let him complete the submission.
Okay, you, Mr.
Let's conclude his submission then.
Give the authority to support your colleague,
Yes.
and then we can move.
My lord, the first one is Paul Kawanga, Semobili, and Zachary Aulum. Versus the Attorney General. Constitution petition number 3, 1999. My lord, we also have Chris Mobiru. My lord, I'll give you the rationale. Chris Mobiru versus the Attorney General. Constitutional petition number 1 of 2001. And my lord, lastly, we have Chiza Besige versus YKM7, presidential election petition number 1 of 2001. My lord, this is a rationale in this case. That, briefly, my lord, that election petitions are trials that are supposed to determine the merits of the case. So, the only evidence you can have on record is through affidavit. Now, if you sneak in inadmissible evidence, like hearsay, there's no any other chance of getting that evidence off the record. And, my lord, because we are not proceeding by witness statements, the only form we can have evidence on record is by affidavit. So where the deponent is giving information from other people who are not before court, my lord, that information is not admissible.
As you have pointed out, paragraphs 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18, 19, and 20.
Yes, my lord, and
those are the ones that which I have captured here, if I know.
yes, my lord, and lastly, to emphasize this, my lord, even evidence from the advocate is not admissible. Even that from the advocate. And my lord, I will quote that. Except the advocate who is representing the deponent. The affidavit where it reads that, my lord, I have been informed by my foresaid advocates.
13, 14.
So, my lord, the excerpt that is relevant to this situation from Zakaria Olu. The ones from the advocates?
Yes.
My lord, we have paragraph 13. I am informed by my lawyers, Messrs. Brain advocates. 14. I am further informed by my lawyers. Yes, my lord. So, my lord, the essence of my submission is that information one from the agents, it is being quoted by Faridah Nambi, and information from the lawyer, both are not admissible. They are closed out by the rule of hearsay.
because she cannot speak or vouch for the truth of such statements unless we are going to have Mr. Karole on the stand to speak to this matter.
Well, my lord, again, my understanding, because I have the right as a party. Yes, my lord. My lord, because an application, my lord, rooted out of these cases, a party can rightfully object admission during trial. If I object, yes, my lord, if I object, then it behoves that the other side has to be heard on this issue, even if it is to be determined later. That's my understanding. Then we can receive a decision, unless they choose not to. Yes, because we have specific.
My lord, I'm surprised by the objection, my lord, on a number of reasons. Mr. Mwizi referred to section 59 of the Evidence Act. Firstly, my lord, by dint of section 1 of the Evidence Act, that act does not apply to affidavits. By dint of section 1 of that act, the Evidence Act, it does not apply to affidavits. Secondly, my lord, the witness in paragraph 23 of her affidavit in support of the petition clearly states that what she is stating above is true to the best of her knowledge and belief from sources she has disclosed. In each of those paragraphs that my colleagues have referred to, the witness has stated the source of the information. She has stated the source on each single one of them. And my lord, there is nobody that she has mentioned who has not deposed an affidavit in this court. All of them, every person she mentions in any affidavit, in any paragraph rather, has deposed an affidavit in this court, and the record reflects that. Decisions are bound, my lord. It is only hearsay. If she states where she gets information from, and the person who she's getting information from is not before court by way of an affidavit, that's the only way you can call it hearsay. But where, my lord, she states that Karole informed me, and she said Agent Karole is here with an affidavit, that ceases to be hearsay. And all of those affidavits of persons she referred to in her affidavit are before this court by way of affidavits. Now, my lord, I also tend to think that we are reading from different decisions of West and Seven. My lord, in that case, Mulenga, JSC, who was part of the lead decision, here that my lord I should read. I should, however, comment especially on affidavits required under Rule 4, Sub-Rule 7, and 83A of the Election Petition Rules to accompany the petition and answers there. The said rules require that those affidavits shall set out the facts on which the petition is based, and the respondent will rely on, as the case may be. Invariably, however, the parties have relied heavily on factual information they receive from their agents and other witnesses in order to comply with that requirement. In my view, what Mulenga says, in my view, therefore, in relation to those affidavits from those other agents, Order 17, Rule 3, which I think back now is 19, of the CPR has to be applied with such modifications as permits the petitioner and the respondents to include in those affidavits facts which they depend on such information. My Lord, that decision was referred to by the Court of Appeal in the case of Panga, Farouk versus Sentugi Isaac, and I'm reading from that decision. After quoting all of that, my Lord, the Lordship said in the Court of Appeal, after quoting that part of the decision, that in the instant case, a reading of paragraphs 5A to M of the petitioner's affidavit, just like in this case, my Lord, shows that what was stated therein was information based on what was provided from polling agents and supporters, as in this case. The petitioner, the Lordship said, the petitioner clearly disclosed the sources of his information, who also saw affidavits in support of the said allegations based on their knowledge, as has happened in this. Then they held, the Lordships in St. last round of elections, they then held, we find that the learned trial judge found that the disclosure of sources of information by the petitioner was sufficient, following the majority decision in Kizabesige versus Museveni. That was the holding of the Lordship. It's not here. I don't in Munindo, Rehma. Munindo Rehma versus Wilfred Kiza, EBA number 29 of 2011. The Lordship said that in these cases, the candidates rely on appointed agents, and as such, should have included that specific source of information, as has happened here, in the affidavits, or else they file separate affidavits from the agents who witnessed the occurrences. That's what we did, my Lord. And the Lordships then held that the learned trial judge cannot be faulted over this aspect. So my Lord, our submission is that first, the evidence Act relied on doesn't apply to affidavit evidence. Two, the petitioner has disclosed all manner of sources of information. Three, those persons from whom she has sourced that information have all deposed affidavits and their own court record. Number four, then the Lordships held that that ceases to be hearsay. Of course, the logic, my Lord, is a candidate is not expected to be in each polling stations out of the 197. She relies on information from supporters, from campaigners, from agents. It is only hearsay if she says, Musisi told me this, and there's no affidavit from Musisi. If that the case is, the affidavit is there, that ceases to be hearsay.
Yes, my Lord, for starters, whether it's true that all these witnesses deposed affidavits and that they disclosed information that may be relied on. Our submission is not premised. I use the word elementarily, the principle in section 59. Elementarily, it is cardinal. Evidence has to be of the witness who saw rapture. But our submission is rooted in Order 19, 3, 1, and 2. My Lord, we submit that hearsay evidence is prohibited. Even belief is prohibited under the law. The issue of information received is prohibited. It's our submission under Order 19, Rule 3, 1, and 2. My Lord, why I raise this issue at this point? I was finding difficulty proceeding with agents who are already questioned. They disclosed evidence information that she does not have, my Lord. To rest this point, my Lord, that is why it would be very proper that we expand those paragraphs at this stage. That was the submission. Because how then do I go there? How then do I go there? When I already have a ruling on record that you cannot cross-examine them. That's why I raised it at this point. He's telling me they are there. I cannot access them.
Are you reviewing
The witness is saying, I don't know, I brought witnesses. Was from my evidence. So I'm at pains, my Lord. I would not have praised made petition. I pray. My Lord, and these cases, good enough, most of them somehow, both sides participated, Kaole and ourselves, and we know their distinguishing. My Lord, to distinguish them properly, since my colleague submitted on the authority, just for distinguishing purposes, then the rest of our case on that. I'm obliged.
About the decision of referring to, when you have it, the decision I was referring to is the decision of Justice Ogo in the 2001 election. My Lord, this is, I need to really offer a proper context of why, where